So first thing I do is end my turn, and the Brutii I send over a diplomat to do nothing. Same thing with the Greeks. And back to me. So I am the largest and most advanced faction, that's quite good to know. And first thing I do is I'm going to send this army over here, which actually encounters a tiny Greek army along the way. Going to build the trading posts. I was about to send them closer into the Brutii territory, but I guess that'll wait. And the siege of Byzantium is going to come to an end with me being victorious, as you just saw. So I occupy the city. There's no need to slaughter everybody at the moment. It's all peaceful. I don't need to leave a large amount of troops here. Build a shrine, retrain troops, train one more levy pikeman. Just the usual. And the port's going to be built pretty soon, since it's very important to have a port in Byzantium. The city is always known to have a good port for a reason. So Thermon's quite close to completing militia barracks. Once they do, I could retrain all the levy pikemen and potentially take Apollonia. I'm quite sure the Brutii have a huge army somewhere nearby, so can't be too hasty about all this. Meanwhile, the garrison, or most of them at Thessalonica, the best ones, are going to leave, go to Bilazora, nearby hook up with a bunch of other soldiers, and with this army recently created, what I hope to do is attack the Thracians, take their city of Tylis, or Tylis, however it's pronounced, not too sure. The only problem with that army is it doesn't have a lot of cavalry units, so if the enemy has a bunch of their militia cavalry, light cavalry, it's going to be quite a huge problem for my units. With their poor morale, poor armor, poor everything pretty much. So without cavalry, this army might have a lot of trouble taking on the Thracians, so maybe if I get lucky, I'm going to bring forth some cavalry units from Byzantium, reinforce them, and take on the Thracians. This army over here is going to take care of the Greeks. The spy sees that Apollonia is quite empty, other than this huge army to its northeast. I do not want to start war with the Romans just yet. Trade has been quite fruitful, and if I start attacking them right now, they still might gain an edge against me quite quickly. Even though all my cities around the Roman front basically would be very easily and well defended, I just think it might be better if I wait, explore some more options, perhaps just ship units over into Italy right after retraining this fleet. This is actually the fleet I'm going to use to start shipping troops over, if that's what I choose to do. And I think that's actually the best option right now. If their cities are quite empty on troops, which means just barely any, I will definitely just cross over the sea and attack them. If not, I guess I'll just try to defeat the Romans at Apollonia, take them out, and hopefully sometime soon take over Tarentum and Croton. Currently it is summer in the game, so in an attempt to avoid the Brutii, I just attack the Greeks, whatever is left of them there, just hire a few mercenaries in case they attack me. And even though I'm in great need of cavalry forces all over in Thessalonica, I need more defensive units. And cool thing around here is just I attacked the Thracian army that retreated, but they retreated so far that in one turn they're not going to be able to come and reinforce their units or even counterattack. So what I planned out earlier I'm going to do right now, which is send over some cavalry and actually quite a large part of the army from Byzantium to reinforce the army near Tylis. And I definitely need more markets around. As I mentioned many times in this Lucid campaign, Hellenistic armies are quite expensive to maintain and train, so you need a lot of money and a lot of cities. They attacked me. Here's what I was talking about. The problem is they have 4 units of militia cavalry. I retreated, but they still catch up. Have the battle fought for me. It's an average victory, which is good, but it could have been better. With this army in or near Apollonia, I try to hide them in the woods to the north of the city. Apparently it doesn't work. Either way, I'll just try to bring ships in as soon as possible and ship them over. Byzantium just completed a port. Now it's going to get a trading post. The city is very beneficial for trade and just generating money. So right as soon as I reorganize this army, they're going to hook up with the army besieging Tylis, hopefully capture the city. And for my flanks, I'll always hire some mercenaries. And at Thermon, I could finally begin training and retraining my levy pikemen. So all is going good. These diplomats must be hecka bored. Coming to my cities for no reason, even though it's PQR. Just ask for trading rights. I accept, even though they're way too far away to do anything different. So here come the Thracians. I withdraw just so I could fight less of their soldiers in the fields. Reduce casualties meanwhile. And all's going good. For now I'm just gonna move my troops out of the Brutii territory. Perhaps I'll take Salona, even though I kind of planned on using this army to attack Tarentum or Croton. So with this army here, I'm gonna attack. It's a clear victory. That was quite nice. Once again, I besieged the city. Apparently my tactic worked. I had to fight less of them, so I won. Here's one unit of ships from Pontus. Pontus is usually never known to be good naval power. Just an FYI. And I actually bring almost the entire garrison from Thermon closer to the Brutii. Meanwhile, the fleet at Corinth, or at the port of Corinth, is going to leave, attack the Greeks, blocking my passage out. And it is through this fleet that I hope to take the armies in Apollonia, or around Apollonia, actually to attack the main Brutii cities of Tarentum and Croton, right across the sea. Hopefully it all works out, and when I move the armies, they don't get attacked across the sea. That would kind of suck. But I think it's going to work out. And from what I just saw at Tarentum, the city looks like it has barely any troops there, and it might actually be quite an easy set of battles. Looks that way since both of the cities look potentially harmless, at least at the current moment. So after having the longest streak of turns of not fighting with the Romans, I decide that I'm going to start the war. I besiege one of their cities. Meanwhile, this army is going to move back, keep the huge Roman army occupied, somewhere around there. Meanwhile, I definitely need to bolster defenses around all my cities that border, or are at least even close to the Roman ones. And some unfinished business over here. I attack Tylis, have the battle fought for me. It's lost, which kind of sucks. Now I'm going to have to take most of those units to Thessalonica, where the units can be retrained. Bring them back into full potential numbers. And Byzantium seems to be doing fine, and my turn, nothing much more I can do. Brutii, I decide to attack my fleets. More importantly, they decide to attack my army nearby. And I think even the computer can win this quite easily, as it did, because the Romans just had way too much cavalry against my units, which aren't experts against cavalry. Spearmen versus cavalry, the obvious winner would be spearmen. And everyone should stay tuned for the next turn, because I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how my attack or invasion of Italy plays out. I think it's going to be quite interesting.